Welcome all. We are at MenaPay office and having a short interview with Miko Matsumura, the co-founder of Evercoin and one of the most prolific VIP investors when it comes to blockchain and tokenized economy world. So, Miko, welcome to Istanbul.
Oh, thank you very much.
How did you find our city?
It is always an amazing place. It makes me want to learn more history.
So your reputation precedes you as the most prolific investor in blockchain world. What are you doing lately?
My focus is largely on the exchange. So at the moment, I'm really working hard. We've shipped product. So, if you go to evercoin.com, you can see the results of our work. So I think that's really a big focus for me. Of course, in addition, I'm also investing from the Gumi Cryptos fund. So I'm also continuing to make investment.
And how do you see the future of this business?
One of the things that we see coming is mass adoption. And mass adoption is, in a way, a combination of users, but also regulations. So we see the mature market is coming. And we really think that that will add credibility, legitimacy, and more people.
So, at that respect, what do you think about the Middle East approach to blockchain and tokenized economy?
I think it's very exciting here. I think that there is a very strong regional twist, which is this notion of having Islamic finance. So the compatibility with regional customs, I think, is very important. And I think that's really, what's noteworthy about what's happening here.
I see. Do you see a huge potential there?
I think it is very big. And, obviously the region itself, particularly GCC, has tremendous resources and financial strength. And I think the thing that's also exciting is that in combination with that base, you also have a much bigger gateway into a larger ecosystem, right? So not just the region is important in and of its own sake, but if you actually look more broadly at the cultural spread into Asian countries like Indonesia, then you're really talking about a global footprint that represents over 1 billion people. So I think that what happens here really matters.
I see. Well, 84% of population of Mena Region is unbanked. And how do you see that blockchain-based payment systems could help to include this population into the greater economy?
One of the amazing things that is happening with financial inclusion is this principle that the cost per account is much lower than in traditional banking. And so the ability to use technology, to use things like mobile devices, mobile broadband, which of course is coming in terms of 5G, even 3G and 4G, regionally enables then this kind of strong support for accessing an entire new class of banking. The thing that I think is exciting is that it's much easier to 10x grow people who are just beginning to enter into banking than to 10x, for example, Goldman Sachs, right? So that's a very difficult thing to 10x, whereas people who are in this initial phase of moving from unbanked to, let's say, crypto banked, those people can easily be brought up very, very quickly in terms of rapidly multiplying their access to capital and wealth.
So, all right. So you say that the digital revolution with digital payment systems already started. And for near future or far future, when do you think that we will finally see this famous cashless economy we are talking about?
I generally find that predicting market timings is difficult. So in terms of really setting a calendar for a date, I think it's a difficult thing to do. But what I can say is the emergence of an internet money. Essentially, it's almost been 10 years since the internet began printing money in the form of bitcoins. And the idea of there being a native internet currency becomes inevitable. Because if you look back and think about the idea of national currencies, they're going to for sure seem strange and quaint, in the sense that if you go from one country to another and you try to spend the first country's money in the second country, of course it doesn't work. But if you look at it from the perspective of the internet, the question becomes, well, how can you send one country's email to another country's email? Right? That's not even a thing. Like, it doesn't exist. So the idea of an internet money is very much like the idea of any internet thing, which is, of course, it has no idea what a border is. And of course, it's going to traverse the globe. And of course, it's going to exist and be an extremely strong provider of financial services for everyone.
All right. Thank you very much for your great insights, Miko. This is Kozan, Strategic Advisor of MenaPay from MenaPay office. And we will have more interesting interviews later today. Stay curious.